Okay, I think we're live now. Uh, just gotta wait until it resets. Perfect. Hello, everyone, and welcome to whatever this is, I guess. So yeah, today I'm going to be writing NIKKE fanfiction, essentially, based on you guys' prompts. Hopefully a lot of people join. I know that there are already 3 people here, I think, which is great, honestly. This is already like a good number of people here. Hello, Evil Bookman. And like I said, this is a stream that's going to require a lot of interactivity. So hopefully this will go well. But for now, let me see what I can do with this. Uh, Obscure anime language model. God damn it. Three? Where? No, I see. Like, apparently, there are 3 people on chat right now. 3 people watching this live. That's what I mean. Anyway, I'm going to sleep. See you. Bye, Ludmila Sandopounder. But yeah, another person already kind of asked for this particular story on this stream. The story we're going to be writing right now will be I don't know how to title it. That may be the first thing that we may be able to do together. Essentially, as you can see, the prompts are Polly and dog collar. So essentially, this is going to be a story about Polly becoming an actual dog girl. Like she's going to wake up one day and she's going to have like actual dog ears and tail and stuff like that. So what could be a good title for this story? There better be a potato winning League of Legends. Uh, Maybe later. Maybe we can do that later. For now, I think. Hello, A Fisher. Welcome to the stream. Um, I think. Yeah, this is a good title for now. Okay, and now we put this in. How do I alter orientation this program? Okay, I think it's. Oh, perfect. So it's like that. Nothing here, so what I will need to do is I'll walk on the rough side. Now I already decided, but maybe if like it seems like a better title as the story develops, like maybe I'll change it. I'll be goddamn honest. What the hell is happening? Let me just do this for a while. Why? Okay, English, please. Okay, perfect. Holy fucking. Okay. Now we. One question: is she really a dog or robot dog? The drop down under the file new open save should add presets for formatting per the paragraph. Uh like yeah. Regarding a Fisher's question, essentially all that's going to happen in this story, or what all that's supposed to happen, is that because Polly, I think you can see here, is a dog girl. Like she has some dog-like traits in the game, but she doesn't have the characteristic ears and tail, right? And so that's what's going to happen. It's a story about uh like that being the case now. So yeah, we're going to start with something like yeah, this is like a very good way to start, an action start. The usual line, a CPU. freeze. Polly exclaims, has she, Miranda, and query, all points their, she, Miranda, and query, all points their guns at like, how would I say this? Luxury, uh, no, high society, at a high society uh, party happening in the uh, Royal Road. This is LibreOffice Writer. Like, I am too much of a cheap bastard to actually buy like Microsoft Windows. No, wait. I'm actually too much of a cheap bastard to buy stuff like Microsoft Word and Excel and stuff like that. So I'm using the like cheap free version, you know? That's why it looks a bit weird. But yeah, this is how the story will start. Libre is justice anyway. Yeah, I really like it, honestly. Office is for jobs. Kind of, with how expensive that program is to actually, write, to actually buy as an individual, you know? But anyway. Well, it's better than using the document app. Oh, hello, Kodokunasu. Hello, Prin. Welcome to the stream. And yeah, I just agree. Again, I really like this what's the name? This writing program in general. But anyway, we should continue with the story. Um what is the meaning of this? One of the guests protested. Protested angrily. Uh, what should happen? Yeah, I think this is how the rest will go. We've we have good reason to believe that illegal drugs are being secretly distributed at this party. Uh, the yeah, the commander answered. The commander answered. While yeah, while showing then the their warrant. Is that how you say it? Like, is that how you spell warrant? Apparently so. Um, but yeah, this is my first time doing this, so I don't know exactly how I should conduct this stream. Do you prefer if I like keep on writing and then like you can um give suggestions on the fly, or would you prefer if I routinely stopped to ask you guys like how you want or how you'd prefer the story to then go? Like, how would you prefer I do that? While you guys answer, I'll continue writing. Uh, oh yeah? Well, uh, routine stops. Okay. Uh, yeah. Why don't if there's a high engagement string, I think you should stop periodically after each snapshot or beat. Yeah, people seem to prefer routine stops. Okay. Oh yeah? Well, why don't you uh yeah. Why don't you show us where exactly you believe these drugs to be then? Uh, the guest countered arrogantly because guaran- I guarantee you. Y'all ever seen a fandom where the fans are worse than the LARPers? Oh, several. Also, welcome to the string armor. Because I guarantee you, you can search every square inch this uh, building. No, I think I'm going to change the order of the things here. Yeah. Because you can search every square inch of this building and and I guarantee you you will yeah you find nothing. Almost on Q, I think that's how you say it. Almost on Q, the commander then flashed an arrogant grin. I think no, grin is with an N in this case. Grin of his own as he Nook and cranny should also work, but there's a pretty British way to say the same thing. Hmm. No, I actually prefer that. Every nook and cranny of this building, and I guarantee you, you find nothing. Away posts on AO3. No British, please. Okay, what do you guys prefer? Do you prefer if I do the British thing, or do you prefer if I don't do the British thing? Which would fit the arrogant tone because more British. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I think like a British would fit him because you know there's supposed to be a villain and all that. Sounds like an European grandmother now. The other cue, the one that means your signal to act, that cue is fine. Don't change it yet, just flag it. Try to maintain some momentum. Advice from a hack burnout. Okay. Give it a try. Okay, we'll maintain the British for now, but if you guys think it doesn't look too good, I'll change it back to like inch. But anyway, almost on cue, the commander then flashed an arrogant grin of his own as he uh, turned to Polly, who, uh, understanding uh, as evil, yes, British. Yes, exactly. That's the logic here. Uh, who understanding immediately Uh, yeah. Almost on cue, the commander then flashed an arrogant grin of his own as he turned to Polly, who, understanding immediately what he wanted her to do. I'm going to try to keep the momentum by, like, if I, because generally when I write, I try to, uh, like, imagine how I can write that thing as best as possible, like on a first go. But here I'll just be writing, like kind of using this as a first draft, just to maintain momentum. Oh, hello, random lads. Welcome to the stream. Understanding immediately what he wanted her to do. He wanted her to do. Uh, got on the grounds. Yeah, that's a good way. And started sniffing it, uh, like a police dog. What's the what's the fuck? What's the fuck? Uh, one of the guests uh wondered as he stared baffled at the scene. As ridiculous as it looked, though, in a single asterisk censor what the game would do. Uh, like, should I censor it? You know what? Whatever. For now, we're not going to censor it. Just this is silly. You're right. Also, I find it kind of ironic. I assumed OA is from Spain, but he's from Brazil. Historical irony. Anyway, try to be a stereotypical British. Sorry, typos. Okay, not British enough. More like in Lord's name or bloody hell. We must be stereotypical. I don't think the censoring the word fuck was necessary. Then I will uncensor it. But uh, I think Arma like makes a good point here that to keep things consistent, I should like change this to what in Lord's name? What in Lord's name? As ridiculous as it looked, as ridiculous as the whole scene looked, uh, the guests, oh, you wankers. If I get the opportunity to actually use that in a text, I will. As ridiculous as the scene looked, the guest's confusion quickly turned to amazement as Polly, in a matter of seconds, uh, began uh, focusing on a particular part of the floor. No, Polly, seconds after uh, putting her nose on the ground, began focusing on a particular part of the floor, and then began uh, began digging quickly, finding uh, the drugs. Finding the mentioned drugs uh, way before. I forgot this was about dogs and almost dropped my phone into the dishwasher. Drugs. Read through the story, like you understand. Way before uh, anyone could. Again, read the story. Like it will make sense if you do. Even think of complaining. So, you were saying I'm a shonen fan. I can't read. Then I'll narrate the whole thing later. So you were saying Polly exclaimed. If she accurately found the drugs, then it would be more fear than amazement. Okay. Quickly turn to fear as Polly seconds after. Okay. So you were saying Polly has exclaimed arrogantly. Has the guests began to collectively uh, despair. Uh, began to collectively despair, trying to come up with excuses to why the drugs were there. Okay, I think this is a good point to stop. So, what do you think should happen at this point? Like, do you think I should just continue and finish the scene before we pause? Or are you still doing that Wattpad story? Yes. Actually, this whole thing of NIKKE, obviously I'm going to do more of them, like more NIKKE fanfics in the future, if this goes particularly well. But I'll also, if this goes particularly well, also start writing that like Wattpad story uh, on stream, since that's more convenient for me, to be perfectly honest, and it should speed things up. But anyway, nobody said anything, so I'll just continue with the scene until I finish. Before they could come up with anything, however, uh, I'm sorry for being overbearing. Since there's two mentions of arrogance from the guest and commander, now Polly, you can keep it as the rules of three, and you can say, or you can save it for another arrogant mention by switching to her to smugness instead. Okay? No, don't be like afraid to comment. Like I like those suggestions. I liked every single suggestion you guys uh made up until this point. But actually, I got another thing to ask. Wait, let me finish the sentence and then I'll ask you guys. Before they could come, no, I actually need to ask right now. What would be like, because from the way the scene is framed, obviously they gathered more evidence uh, before like invading this high society party. No, but smugness like kind of fits in here too. So like that's why I like his suggestion. I understand they feature that they are kind of different, but it still fits, with what I wanted to convey. But what I wanted to ask is that obviously the scene kind of implies that obviously the commander and the ACPU gathered more evidence before the confronting like the guests at the party. Like because the drugs by themselves obviously are in an unmarked bag because like the criminals aren't stupid. So what other evidence could they have found like beforehand that combined with this would prove that the guests are responsible for this? You know? That's what I'm like trying to figure out. So if you guys have any suggestions, I'd actually really appreciate so we can continue the story without too many interruptions. Poly produced. And then I'm going to leave it here and going to put here a thing for like a future sentence. And I'll begin, since some people got here later, I'll begin reading the full story while you guys give me a couple of suggestions. ACPU, freeze! Polly exclaimed as she, Miranda, and Query all point. Uh, yeah, I think there should be in the past. Polly exclaimed as she, Miranda, and Query all pointed their guns at the high society party happening in the royal world. What's the meaning of this? One of the guests protested angrily. We have good reason to believe that illegal drugs are being secretly distributed at this party, the commander answered while showing them their warrant. Oh, yeah? Well, why don't you show us where exactly you believe these drugs to be then? The guest countered arrogantly. Because you can search every nook and cranny of this building, and I guarantee you'll find nothing. Almost on cue, the commander then flashed an arrogant grin of his own as he turned to Polly, who, understanding immediately what he wanted her to do, got on the ground and started sniffing it like a police dog. What in Lord's name? One of the guests wondered as he stared baffled at the scene. Ridiculous as the whole scene looked, the guest's confusion quickly turned to fear as Polly, seconds after putting her nose to the ground, began focusing on particular spots of the floor and then began digging quickly, finding the mentioned drugs way before anyone could even think of complaining. So, you were saying? Polly exclaimed smugly as the guests began to collectively despair, trying to come up with excuses as to why the drugs were there. Before they could come up with anything, however, Polly produced. What if a guest had a sugar smear that wasn't sugar smear? Idiot was using the product. They have, for example, a video of security cameras before confronting them. Yes, they are a little different, and that's exactly why. Since those words are synonyms, they express a close expression, but the little difference is what makes it work as it divorces from the tree. Okay, it makes sense. Wait, where was I going? Anyway, I think I could use like I have a good idea actually. Polly produced has Polly grabbed her cell phone and at the click of a button grabbed her phone and no, which grabbed her cell phone, which at the click of a button, is that not how you, okay, the click of a button began playing recording with voice, no, of a voice identical to some of the guests uh, began playing a recording of a voice identical to some of the guests that had spoken up. I'll address you guys shortly. I just want to finish the scene first. So, you got the product, male voice asked. Yeah, right here. Uh, Female voice responded. A female voice responded has the sounds of latch being unlocked can be heard. Can be clearly heard. So, great. Great, but how exactly are we going to smuggle this past the ever watching eye of the central government. Uh, well, okay, let me read some things and then I'll continue. Basically, it's the same reason why you shouldn't put he, she said at the end of every dialogue. It slows the text down and adds repetition. Does the ACPU have body cans? Anything the phone would capture instead? No, the ACPU doesn't use body cans. Like, as far as I'm aware, like this is not a requirement in their world as it is in ours, especially in the USA. You could use the uh slash button on the dialogue from recording to make a visual difference. Oh, that's a great idea, actually. Let me alter this quickly and then we'll continue. At the same time, if you explicitly avoid the word said, readaholics will notice. Well, can please like everyone now, can I? But anyway. Well, okay. Why don't we use that party you were planning on hosting? Most of the guests there would definitely definitely be interested in this, and given how big the houses, given how big your house is, it would be easy to hide it in place no no one would think uh, about looking and only review it when it's when it's finally safe to and only yeah, I'm going to change that, and only take it out when it's time for our concealed sale. Okay. Anyway, let me read some things before I continue. At the same, okay, you can exclaim, you can exhort, you can. Goddamn it, evil book, man. I'm going to use some of these suggestions there to keep the thing from becoming too repetitive, but definitely not going to write that as well. No, I mean, in the top, there's a button that makes text go like this, but this is good too. But not saying it's kind of funny to notice. Okay. Anyway, continuing on. Do you think it's a real word for saying things? Sure it is. Sure it is. Do you think that disguising it as wine? Uh, but yes, it has obvious parallel meanings. Okay, the recording can stop there. Okay, uh, you're right. So let's continue the story. Uh, so, uh, anything you like to say before we take you to trial? Uh, so, anything you like to say before we take you to trial? Uh, despite their anger. Okay. Despite their anger, none of the guests, none of the guests, even tried to uh, deny the evidence. All uh, all no, like collectively. Uh, how do I say collectively? Collectively. Uh, accepting uh collectively accepting the arrest order, especially since they knew that not even their best, not even their uh, top notch security could even hope to go against NIKKE, much less three of them. Co le Yeah, collectively. Okay, I think this is a good spot for us to stop for a bit and talk about how like we want to continue the story. Like, do you guys have any suggestions? Do you think we should change something, or like, do you have any ideas for how you'd like us to continue the story? Like, I'm going to open it up now for people to like participate a bit more, since that's the point of the stream. But anyway, the recording can stop there since it's a sufficient amount of evidence and explanation as to why and how the drugs were there. Talking about the sale, you can use the words frustrations as fuel for expressing the guest's emotions. Can be used to replace or along collectively. Okay. Uh, despite their yeah, despite their anger at the police officers' arrogant tone. Okay, perfect. One of them could try to run away. Actually, that's a good suggestion. Let's go with that. Just as the ACPU thought they had the situation under control, however, one of the guests suddenly grabbed the bag of drugs and began running at completely unnatural speeds. Yeah, running away. Yeah, okay. Uh, Commander, query. Please take care. Uh, no, I already had that in mind, Prin. Don't worry. Like when we get to that, like I already have a scene, pretty much, just like what you're describing for the actual like color scene. Commander, query. Please, take care of the other guests. Miranda, let's catch this. Yeah, let's catch this coward. Okay. Miranda exclaimed. No, not Miranda, sorry. Polly exclaimed as she began running as fast as possible after the perpetrator. Okay, sorry for this, guys. I know that we disconnected for a while there. Hopefully, it wasn't too much of an issue. But anyway, ho- how is he running so fast? Miranda, Miranda asked. Yeah, yeah, okay. Miranda asked, baffled. Has no matter how fast she ran, she seemed completely unable to even get close to the criminal. He must have installed uh, NIKKE enhancements. Yeah, he must have installed NIKKE enhancements on uh, his body, and he must have installed NIKKE enhancements on his body. And given how fast he's running, some pretty good ones at that. And I think it should be obvious that it's Polly like responding to Miranda here. And so like I'm not going to like put that in. Like I think this should be able to, like, I think that's implied well enough for me to not be for it not to be necessary to make it clear. But anyway, um seeing no other option, Polly as Polly once again used her dog like abilities, catching like, yeah, almost immediately catching the criminal after she began running on all fours. And here we're going to do kind of a time skip, like to a later scene. Since there's nothing too relevant to put here, we're going to go on the scene that Prin mentioned. Then we're going to change to here again. Good job. Good job, Polly. You were exceptional as always. The commander said. Has he began yeah has he began enthusiastically head patting her. What? Shanky Shank Sank you uh Zomander. Maybe you use lines as an indication of a time skip. What do you mean? Can you type that out, a Fisher, please? Like, what do you mean use lines as a time skip? Polly said in absolute X. You should put catching up to the criminal for better flow, as it implies that she was moving faster, not that she grabbed them. Uh, Immediately catching uh, up to the criminal after she began running on all fours. Okay. Oh, hello, Otakami. Welcome to the stream. So, god damn it. Come on. Okay. Okay. So something like this evil bookman, like is what you mean? Ecstasy. Ex. How do you say like ecstasy? Uh, yeah, I'm going to need you guys to like tell me that. But yeah, for now, let's continue. Ecstasy. Okay. Ecstasy. Yeah, the gap looks cool. Good. Yeah. Oh, I almost forgot. The commander uh, exclaimed, taking a box decorated with a ribbon from his desk and handing it to Polly. Here, an additional reward for your always fantastic service. Wow, really? Thank you. Thank you, Commander. She said excitedly as she began opening the box. I wonder what you got me as a yeah. Wonder what you got me as a present. Uh, at the site. Site. Yes. At the site of the box's contents. However, Polly stopped in her tracks. A mix of bafflement and indignation. Yeah, with a mix of bafflement and indignation in her expression. Commander, what the hell is this? She said, holding up the dog collar with her name in disgust. Her name, holding up the dog collar with her name in disgust. Uh, well, I asked Miranda what she. Yeah, okay. Well, I thought it was a bit weird too, but when I asked Miranda what she thought you'd uh, like as a gift, she immediately grabbed this from the store we were on. Uh, I should have known it was another one of her brilliant ideas. Okay. Okay. Nothing. Okay. The gap looks cool. Cool break, not the gap. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. Still, I really do think it would look goods on you. The commander admitted. Admitted. Polly evolved to. Oh, not yet. Don't you worry about that. This is going to happen in just a bit. The commander admitted, a bit embarrassed. Yeah, okay. Bit embarrassed. Polly really disliked being treated like a dog, no matter what. But wanting to give the commander a reward of his own for always helping her, she decided to capitulate at least once. Fine, fine, she said after a sigh, as she began putting on the collar. Remember to thank Miranda for being a good friend. She always tries her best. She always means well, at least. So does it uh does it look cute? Of course. Absolute. The commander said. Uh no. The commander stopped as his excitement excite excitement turned to shock in an instant. Commander, is there something wrong? The commander, unable to speak, uh, simply pointed at the top of his head. Simply pointed at the top of his head, as if to tell her to touch her own. And as she did, she immediately realized what was wrong, as she felt felt two fluffy uh, dog ears. As she felt two fluffy dog ears. Yeah, as she felt two fluffy dog ears there. What the hell? She screamed. Seriously? I'm sorry for the constant disconnections, guys. I really don't know what's going on today. She screamed as phone touching the spots where her human ears were supposed to be. She found, as upon touching the spot where her human ears found that they uh, had disappeared. Okay, so I think this is a good spot for us to stop and like ask for suggestions again. So, how do you think the shoulds like continue? Or and I noticed that you guys have been a bit quiet, like in regards to like the story's progression and things like that. Do you think I should alter anything here, or like did you simply not have anything to comment? Hmm, interesting. While you answer that, I'll continue like writing it. Prin, if you don't mind me asking, what's your PFP supposed to be? Crusader Knight reading a Bible, or was hentai? It's been like a couple of years. Sorry, I went to get a sandwich after the present was opened. I have nothing. Not much to comment at the moment, just that I think Polly is cute. Okay, so I'll just continue. While Polly was panicking, yeah, okay. In contrast, in contrast to Polly's panic, the commander, after recovering from the initial shock, seemed uh, over the moon at what had apparently happened. Polly, Polly, this is amazing. not only do you have dog ears now, but 1 second, but an adorable little fluffy tail. Uh, is fluffy is fluffy not spelled correctly? Like, um, how do you spell fluffy? Like, I really don't get what um is wrong with the way I spelled it, honestly. But anyway, but a fluffy little tail as well. Fluffy. Fluffy has one L. Oh, okay, okay. Goddamn idiot, I swear. Okay. Looks like you're reading fluffily. Okay, sorry, sorry. I have a what? Polly screamed. Has she turned to see an adorable dog tail coming out of her back? Come on, Polly. Okay. Polly screamed in a horror as she turned to see an adorable dog tail coming out of her back. Come on, Polly. Isn't this awesome? I bet everyone in the outpost would agree that those look really cute on you. Okay. I really don't understand why it keeps disconnecting and reconnecting. I have zero idea, honestly. But anyway, that's not the issue, and you know it. Polly exclaimed, enraged. If you somehow Polly's trying to stop you away. Imagine if she's aware of the writer now and trying to like that was a funny comment, honestly. If you somehow forgot oh, okay, Polly is trying to stop me by messing with my oh, you know what? Okay, that's a that's an amazing comment, actually. Good one, A Fisher. If you somehow forgot, Commander, Nikke's can't be police officers. How the hell am I going to convince anyone. She's chewing the cables. How the hell am I going to convince anyone that I'm still human with this, with these? Okay. How the hell am I going to convince anyone I'm still human with this coming? Okay. Coming. Okay. Coming out of my back. As much as the commander didn't want to admit, Polly had a good point. As adorable as her new ears were, it would be impossible for her to continue being a police office of sorry a police officer if she captain. Well, the ears appeared after you put on the collar. So why don't you try taking it off? Polly did as he asked, but uh, unfortunately, uh, but unfortunately, that did nothing to solve the issue. Mm, the uh, commander began thinking. No, no, calm down. Uh, okay, we're going to continue with Polly. Please tell me you know way to get rid of those, commander. Okay. Please tell me you know a way to get rid of those, commander. Polly asked. Uh, Polly said. Her, yeah, Polly said with a trembling voice, pretty much begging the commander to figure out a way for her to avoid losing her job. I can't guarantee anything, but I think I at least know a way to understand uh, what exactly is going on. And then we're going to do another like time skip. So now that we progress from this scene, uh, do you have any suggestions for the story? My like the way I was thinking, I mean, she could become a police mascot with the dog features. That is not the point. Like to kind of explain to the people who don't play Nikkei, essentially Polly, like what Polly was saying is exactly the point. Like, uh, this is not a bit. This is not a thing for the like fan fiction or anything like that. In Nikkei, there are actually professions that Nikkeis can't occupy. So many Nikkeis pretend to still be human in order to keep some professions, and that's why Polly is so like desperate about this because she knows that again, if she keeps those, she'll be found out as a Nikkei and then be kicked out of the police force. And she really loves being a police officer, so obviously she doesn't want that to happen. But the way I was thinking about continuing the story, see if you agree with me, is that like uh they will go to uh the office of the corporation that essentially made Polly, like the corporation that turned her into a Nikkei. And the leader of that corporation will then kind of explain the situation, and like they'll find out a possible way to turn her back to normal. You know, that's how I was thinking of progressing the story, but I'm open to suggestions. Like, would you want the story to go in another direction? Do you have any other interesting ideas? I'm open to suggestions on that front. But why can't Nikkei be police officers? Um, Essentially they view some professions as having too much power to be assigned to a robot, because essentially Nikkeis are at their core robots. Like they are piloted by human brains, but are at their core robots that are supposed to fight the raptures. And so they are incredibly powerful, you know, so much so that a lot of people fear them because they think that they are actually going to like eventually even do an uprising and try to like take control of humanity, you know. And so that's why Nikkeis aren't allowed to get positions that give them too much power, especially too much power over other people, like police officers or like uh, entrepreneurs or um, Like what is another one? Like government officials, they can't hold any positions of power in order to prevent them from doing this like uprising that people fear so much. That's why they're only allowed to have positions that put them in a place of subservience, like for example, or that are related to entertainment. Like cheerleaders or bunny girls or things like that. Yeah, Evil Bookman put it in much more concise terms than I did. So, yeah, please refer to his explanation. But yeah, do you agree that with my way of continuing the story, or do you have any ideas you like to suggest? Then I'll be honest, there are way more people interested in this stream than I thought. Like, there aren't many people watching, but just the fact that there are 5 people watching, uh, like it is more than I thought. Like just to be like perfectly clear, the first time I did a reading stream, like I'm pretty sure only a Fisher was participating. It was like a Fisher and another person. Now I'm doing a writing string, which in theory should be even more boring, and we have like a whole 5 people watching. That might sound like little to you guys, but that's a lot more than I was expecting. I see no issues with your current vision, but what if she needs to get walked, like needs? I think this would ruin the next scene, but the scene after that, we can do something like this. I have some interesting ideas for that. So, uh, let me just consult something on the Nikkei wiki, and then I'll continue writing. Nikkei, what's the name? Elysian, no, Nikkei companies. Manufacturers, yes, yes. Okay, Elysian is Ingrid. Okay. After so what's what's going on with what's going on with Polly? The commander asked. So what's going on with Polly? The commander asked Ingrid after the after the conclusion of her body scan. No, scan. Well, it's nothing really too uncommon. She answered, uh, see, looking lots calmer than the commander expected. As you know, uh, while not usual, it's entirely pos- entirely possible for Nikke's appearance appearance to change without external input due to the incorporation of new parts as well as psychological change. How do you expel psychological? So, similar to what happened psychological. Okay, thank you. So, similar to what happened to uh, Rappy or Snow White, for example, yes, though to a much smaller extent. So, is there any way to reverse it? Well, since the changes are so minor and mostly cosmetical, cosmetical, no, mostly cosmetic, they should disappear. Okay, they should disappear if uh, a similar uh, yeah, if Polly goes through a similar psychological change. Meaning, uh, my theory is that this transformation happened due to Polly over relying, okay, relying, okay, so it's like that, over relying on her dog-like characteristics. Characteristics. Both on and outside the job. So as long as she stops uh sup just joined. My recommendation is welcome to the stream, Teto, but I can't say that. Oh, also, uh, please, everyone who's on stream, like, go to my community to see Teto's art. Like, I don't know why, but it's been sitting on my community with like a singular like for hours now, and that's criminal. The art is great, and you should definitely go check it out. But yeah. So as long as she stops using then and uh, starts adopting more human like behaviors instead uh, these dog ears uh, should uh, disappear in a matter of days. Okay. And then after this, we're going to have another time skip as we go to like the next scene. For fuck's sake, seriously. Okay, perfect. Yeah. But yeah, I think what the hell is this? Jesus Christ. I'll have to solve that later. Um, but yeah, I think I'm going to have to stop here because I'll be honest. Like there's a reason why my chapters, like the chapters of my story, take so long to come out because as you can see, as you've been able to, I think you've been able to tell throughout the stream, I'm quite a slow writer. And I'm kind of hungry right now, so yeah, we'll be stopping this here. Uh, and continuing probably like in another week. But yeah, I'm really happy about how the stream went. Like there was a good level of interactivity. Like a lot of people, despite me like literally streaming this on a weekday instead of the weekends, like where I know a lot more people are available. This had a pretty good number of viewers. Like people seemed interested and like there was a good amount of interactivity. People seemed to stay for much longer than I expected. So yeah, this was a actually pretty great experience that I hope I can do more of soon. Uh, are you going to post this fic when you finish it? Oh, definitely. Like, a Fisher brought up really good points. Like, when I actually finish this fanfic, I'll post it on my Wattpad for anyone who just wants to read it without going through like these whole kind of um kind of grading strings, honestly, because I imagine that for someone who isn't like doesn't appreciate the like can't have fun with the process of seeing a story get done, like this would be quite boring. So to anyone who just wants to read it, I'll be putting it right after I finish on my Wattpad, so you can just read it as a normal story. Uh, I read one sentence. Is this Polly trying to skip her responsibilities, Lamar? No. Actually, since some people arrived here, I'm just going to read the whole thing before we finish it. But yeah, what else did I want to say? Oh yeah, before I do that, a bit of an announcement. Like from now on, I'll be having some of these more unique strings on like the week, as you've seen happen like um right now, you know. So, for example, there will be ranking strings on the week. There will be like more writing strings like these on the week. Sometimes even discussion strings, because I'm beginning to realize that the only like games I really have the time to play or make content about during the week are gacha games. Like if because I know that especially this first week of university is uh would take a lot less out of me than following weeks. By then I'll be more used to it, so there's that to consider. But in general, I think I'll have to stick to 2 hour streams throughout the week, and I'll only be able to stream for longer times during the weekend. So the weekend will for from now on be reserved to like podcasts and like the gameplay streams, the gameplays of other games, you know. So things like Doki Doki Literature Club, um, like Trials of Mana, the upcoming Seran Kagura stream, they will be all on the weekend from now on, and the week will be reserved to shorter strings like the writing strings, the ranking, and like discussion strings, as well as the normal, obviously, like gacha game strings. So yeah, this is kind of the announcements to how things will work from now on. But without further ado, to some of the people that arrived later, and to a lot of the people that uh, would just like to see the story in a more narrated in a more usual fashion, I'll be reading it from beginning to the part where we finished it, and then we'll end stream. ACPU, freeze! Polly exclaimed as she, Miranda, and Query all pointed their guns at the high society party happening in the Royal Roads. What's the meaning of this? One of the guests protested angrily. We have good reason to believe that illegal drugs are being secretly distributed at this party. The commander answered while showing them the warrant. Oh yeah? Well, why don't you show us exactly where you believe these drugs to be then? The guest countered arrogantly. Because you can search every nook and cranny of this building and I guarantee you will find nothing. Almost on cue, the commander then flashed an arrogant grin of his own, as he turned to Polly, who, understanding immediately what he wanted her to do, got on the ground and started sniffing it like a police dog. What, in Lord's name? One of the guests wondered as he stared baffled at the scene. As ridiculous as the whole scene looked, the guest's confusion quickly turned to fear as Polly, seconds after putting her nose on the ground, began focusing on a particular part of the floor and then began digging quickly, finding the mentioned drugs way before anyone could even think of complaining. So, you were saying? Polly exclaimed smugly, as the guests began to collectively despair, trying to come up with excuses as to why the drugs were there. Before they could come up with anything, however, Polly grabbed her cell phone, which, at the click of a button, began playing a recording of a voice identical to some of the guests that had spoken up. So, you got the product? A male voice asked. Yeah, right here. A female voice responded as the sound of a latch being unlocked can be clearly heard. Great, but how exactly are we going to smuggle this past the ever watching eye of the central government? Why don't we use the party you were planning on hosting? Most of the guests there would definitely be interested in this, and given how big your house is, it would be easy to hide it in a place no one would think about looking, and only take it out when it's time for our concealed sale. So, anything you would like to say before we take you to trial? Despite their anger at the police officer's arrogant tone, none of the guests even tried to deny the evidence, collectively accepting the arrest order, especially since they knew that not even their top notch security could even hope to go against the NIKKE, much less three of them. Just as the ACPU thought they had the situation under control, however, one of the guests suddenly grabbed a bag of drugs and began running away at a completely unnatural speed. Commander, query. Please take care of the other guests. Miranda. Sorry, again. Commander, query. Please take care of the other guests. Miranda, let's catch this coward. Polly exclaimed as she began running as fast as possible after the perpetrator. How is he running so fast? Miranda asked, baffled, as no matter how fast she ran, she seemed completely unable to even get close to the criminal. He must have installed NIKKE enhancements on his body, and given how fast he's running, some pretty good ones at that. Seeing no other option, Polly once again used her dog-like abilities, almost catching up uh, to the criminal after she began running on all fours. Yeah, almost immediately catching up to the criminal after she began running on all fours. And then we have a bit of a time skip, and uh, another scene begins at the commander's room. Good job, Polly. You are exceptional as always, the commander said as he began enthusiastically head patting her. Why, thank you, Zomander, Polly said in absolute ecstasy. Oh, I almost forgot, the commander exclaimed, taking a box decorated with a ribbon from his desk and handing it to Polly. Here, an additional reward for your always fantastic service. Why, really? Thank you, Commander, she said excitedly as she began opening the box. I wonder what you got me as a At the sign of the box's contents, however, Polly stopped in her tracks with a mix of bafflement and indignation in her expression. Commander, what the hell is this? She said, holding up the dog collar with her name in disgust. Well, I thought it was a bit weird too, but when I asked Miranda what she thought you'd like as a gift, she immediately grabbed this from the store we were on. I should have known it was another one of her brilliant ideas. Still, I do think it would look good on you, the commander admitted, a bit embarrassed. Polly really does like being treated like a dog, no matter what, but wanting to give the commander a reward of his own for always helping her, she decided to capitulate at least once. Fine, she said after a sigh, as she began putting on the collar. So, does it look cute? Of course, absolutely. The commander stopped, as his excitement turned to shock in an instant. Commander, is there something wrong? The commander, unable to speak, simply pointed at the top of his head, as if to tell her to touch her own. And as she did, she immediately realized what was wrong, and she felt two fluffy dog ears there. What the hell? She screamed, as upon touching the spot where her human ears were supposed to be, she found that they had disappeared. In contrast to Polly's panic, the commander, after recovering from the initial shock, seemed over the moon at what had apparently happened. Polly, this is amazing. Not only do you have dog ears now, but an adorable little fluffy tail as well. I have a what? Polly screamed in horror as she turned to see an adorable dog tail coming out of her back. Come on, Polly, isn't this awesome? I bet everyone in the outpost would agree that those look really good on you. Those look really cute on you. That's not the issue and you know it, Polly exclaimed in rage. If you somehow forgot, Commander, Nikke's can't be police officers. How the hell am I going to convince anyone that I'm still human with this coming out of my back? As much as the commander didn't want to admit, Polly had a good point. As adorable as her new ears were, it would be impossible for her to continue being a police officer she captain. Well, the ears appeared after you put on the collar, so why don't you try taking it off? Polly did as he asked, but unfortunately that did nothing to solve the issue. Please tell me you know a way to get rid of those, Commander. Polly said with a trembling voice, pretty much begging him. Uh, yeah, I shouldn't Moe body horror Lamau. I didn't even think of that as I wrote, but yeah, kind of. Pretty much begging him to figure out a way for her to avoid losing her job. I can't guarantee anything, but I think I at least know a way to understand what exactly is going on. Then there's a time skip, and they go to Ingrid's office. So, what's going on with Polly? The commander asks Ingrid after the conclusion of her body scan. Well, it's nothing really too uncommon, she answered, looking a lot calmer than the commander expected. As you know, while not unusual, it's entirely possible for a NIKKE's appearance to change without external input, due to the incorporation of new parts as well as a psychological change. So, similar to what happened to Rappy or Snow White, for example? Yes, though to a much smaller extent. So, is there any way to reverse it? Well, since the changes are so minor and mostly cosmetic, they should disappear if Polly goes through a similar psychological change. Meaning? My theory is that this transformation happened due to Polly over relying on her dog like characteristics, both on and outside the job. So, as long as she stops using them and starts adopting more human like behaviors instead, the dog years should disappear in a matter of days. And like after this we'll continue the story in another stream. Once again, thank you all for watching. I'm really glad you not only sticked around, but all of you participated as well. So yeah, I really look forward to continuing the story on stream, as well as like my own story that was mentioned by someone here in the palm of her hands. But yeah, for now,